So I want to fix my mud guard. This is quite an old mud guard that I've had. But the great thing about these mud guards, I think they're called the SKS race blades, is that you can literally just take them on and off like really quickly. And it helps if your bike doesn't have like mudguard eyelets. Obviously I want to use this in the winter or in rough weather because it is the gravel bike, the LS from Factor. It has enough clearance for like over 40mm tires, but at the minute I'm running 28 because I'm mainly running on the road. So I want to be able to, if I can, get this mudguard a little bit closer to the tire, a little bit closer to the fork or under the fork. Riding this yesterday, I noticed that there is so much water coming through and out the front, and then with a see from this side, it's now further through. I haven't finished adjusting it yet, but I can get clearance away from the tire and potentially get it so that it's not spitting water at me. All right, I think I've solved the problem. However, we won't know until obviously we ride it in the rain or find a puddle somewhere. The only downside is because I've shifted it forward, there's less protection for my feet, but it's a small price to pay maybe. I need to find the balance. So of course, the day I decide to change and adapt my mud guards, there's not a cloud in the sky the next day and there's no sign of rain at all. But it seems to be working well. I haven't been riding much on my local roads. Hill climb season does that to you. You tend to either ride like indoors or you just ride up and down local hills. But the council have been re-tarmacking a lot of the roads around here, and it's really welcomed. So this weekend actually signals the end of the hardest part of the year for any cyclist, amateur cyclist particularly, pro cyclists though as well, and that is the downtime period. I've had 2 weeks of just doing what I wanted to do, but a massive reduction in training load, and as of next week I'll be getting back to zone 2 stuff, and I'm actually very excited. It's also that time of year where we get like massive heart rate decoupling to our power, so like I'm riding along 150 beats a minute but at 250 watts, and if I was aerobically strong, like going back to way back at the middle of the year or even earlier in the year with Sacalobra and things, that would be 310, 330 watt at 150 beats a minute. It's mad, isn't it? You got to take it on the chin, and you got to understand that that will actually balance itself out at some point. You just got to play the long game. Well, so much for the tailwind I thought I'd have. This ride this morning, the group ride, it's actually labelled as the most challenging group ride on the weekend for us in the local area, and we try and change the routes every weekend, but generally there's always a challenging climb or two on the route which can be taken at your own pace. Always regroup at the top, but yeah, it's been a while since I've been on one of these and it's nice to be back. Now this time of year, generally on group rides, I get dropped on the climbs. I'm trying to stick to a certain power range, but it does offer me an excuse to practice pedaling evenly across the whole climb, trying to hold a similar wattage across the whole climb. It's almost like hill climb pacing, but at a lower effort level. So we can all do it and we can all benefit from it. It's just the group, letting them go to to sacrifice like your own benefits sometimes. You know, this time of year, again, I gotta take that on the chin. Yeah. Yeah, that's a bit of a weird one, that one. Going from like minus 25% to like dead turn. Ride is pretty much done. Coffee time. I fancy a donut, but not today. They look good though. So apparently I'm holding up the group today in more ways than one. I was late to the ride this morning by 5 minutes, and my takeaway coffee came late, so I'm having to ride and drink at the same time. I need to find a bin though, or you could just live in my bottle cage for now. The local cafe we tend to stop at the end of these group rides is starting to get a bit too busy, and because we end up stopping as a fairly large group of, like, you know, about 10 cyclists, we can't really take over the place, so we're having to either go elsewhere or get takeaways just to get a coffee. The problems with groups of cyclists, I imagine, but it's good for the business, of course, but sad times for us. We either have to find another cafe or make do with takeaway coffees. Anyway, it's a wonderful day. Sun's out, no rain, no clouds, beautiful.